Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. Okay, we've sighted the gun in, we've got it set up. Now how are we going to carry it in the field? Well, I've got a holster on the way, and I'll do an update on that, and it's going to be a flap holster. But for the moment, the way I usually carry it when I'm planning on using it is in this kind of configuration. I carry it on my right hip, and usually my kukri rides on my left, or whatever belt knife I'm using. And that's because I'm right-handed. Easy for me to access the gun and put it back. I like a full leather holster, something that's going to protect the gun. And the holster that's coming is a full flap holster. We'll get to that in a minute. But now, how do you carry the ammunition? And we've talked about that a little bit in the past. But I've just got something and I wanted to share it with you. Notice this pouch right here, and I'll give you a close-up here in a minute. That's where I'm going to carry my ammunition. That way, once I fire the weapon and it's unloaded, bang, and I want to top up, I take my left hand, I reach back, I open up, lift the inner flap, stick in my finger, and come out with one of my cartridges. Now transfer, blah, 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 load. Take the empty tube, throw it back in my pocket. Nice, quick, simple, and easy. That way I can constantly top up the gun as I'm going in the field. So I don't have to stop and take my rucksack off and dig out the flask and all that stuff out of the back. It stays quick and handy on. Now, you've seen this in one of my earlier videos. This is what I'm carrying my 44 caliber cap and ball in. This is a Civil War russet leather cap pouch that I got from Dixie Gun Works. It's made out of heavy saddle leather. And it's got an outer flap and an inner flap. I carry my capper right there, and then I carry up to a dozen reloads for my 44 caliber. This is all I need for a day in the field, and it keeps it quite handy and easy accessible. No big muss or fuss. Now for a long time I used one of these. This is a U.S. military issue type pouch that you can still find on websites. And it's got a lifted out closure. The only thing I do not like about it is the way that these loops are cut. See, it goes to the inside. I was lazy. I kept thinking I was just going to one day glue me a piece of leather to the inside so it folded over as a secondary flap. Because when it closes, there's a little too big a gap here. Now if you notice on this one, it's got that inner flap to take care of that. So the outer flap squeezes the inner flap down. If I was going to keep one of these, and these are like maybe $15 off of Sportsman's Guide and things. Take it, get on the inside, and do not glue to the center because that's where your belt goes. These outer edges, take me a piece of leather, slide it in there, glue it to the outer edges, and make it so that the flap rolled over and came to the front so that when I close the pouch, it'd be tight right here and it'd plug that up a little. Okay? These are relatively cheap. This is one I made, and you can tell it, but it's just simply a piece of scrap leather I had that I followed this pattern, and I made it wider to carry my 44 for extended hunting. And I made it out of one piece of leather that's just a flat piece, rolled over, sewed, and then the two side pieces are a little long so they fold over and form ears. That way, whenever you put it in there, it does that. It seals up the edge, and I don't have to worry about rounds falling out. And this works fairly well. Another thing that you can also find sometime on surplus is these old German type ammunition carriers from World War II. It's got a lifted bottom, just a lot like the old cartridge pouch. And you can put, quite a few down in there. Fairly handy, quick, easy to use, and cheap. But on the other end of it is what they did originally, and that's what we're going to talk about now. This is my latest toy I got with it. Since Stormborn is a 61 Navy, note the Navy part, I got this offline. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Now this is what an original cartridge box looked like that went as a companion to the revolvers. Now this came with this tin inside of it. You see these individual slots. In here you stood up paper cartridges. How many, I'm not sure. Excuse me. but I figure that they should hold at least, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 3 full reloads, something like that. I think it's a little bit narrow. But now, this construction is one piece of tin folded around with a side part soldered in, and then they dropped in the dividers. I've already, as you can see, wiggled this center piece until I've broken it loose, and I'm going to wiggle and wiggle and wiggle until I take these out and just make them big enough I can run a finger down. This is probably how I'm going to carry my combustible paper cartridges in it, because I can run a finger down in there and get it, just stand them up in it, it should be fine. Now, the actual pouch itself. This came off of Amazon, or excuse me, eBay, and I'll put a link at the back of it to who manufactured this. And this is a copy, like I said, of the original style. It's got a nice generous belt loop, sewn all the way around, and notice these little ears that protect. Lift the bottom. There you go. It's pretty heavy saddle leather. Then you have this flap, inner flap, and then here is where your cartridges go. Right there. You also will notice that there's another small pouch on here. Now, I don't know what the original function of this pouch was, but I tell you what I'm going to put into it. Into this is going to go a vent pick, a nipple wrench, a few little cleaning patches, a pipe cleaner, something that I would need with the revolver, maybe even a piece of bank line made into a pull through, and some already pre-lubed patches into this. This will become my little cleaning kit in the field right there on the side of the pouch. And it just snaps closed. Now I'm using a old surplus belt to carry it, and the gun like you saw in the intro. Hold on a minute, let me move the camera. So, what that does for us is it makes it very convenient in the field, just like it did originally. This is the way that they carried in the field way back when. Now, if I'm going to be actively hunting with my cap and ball, that's when I want to carry one of these big belt pouches on my hip. Okay, Blackie, why don't you just take your pre-lubes and stick them in a shirt pocket? That's because here in my beloved South, many times it's very high temperatures and very high humidity. And quite often by 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, you're out here doing any kind of outdoor activity, this shirt will be soaking wet. These pants will be soaking wet from sweat. And it is not conducive to good accuracy to have your ammunition getting damp hour by hour in a moist, humid environment. So by putting it out here on my belt, I protect my ammunition better. Now something small, like the cap pouch or the ammunition pouch here, works fine. If you're only going to carry like 2 reloads, if you load 5, then you need a total of 10. If you load all 6 and use the safety pins, then you need then you need 12, or you need, you know, however many. This big pouch that I used with hunting, I could put 18 in here. With a fully loaded handgun, that made it 24. I had enough for an all-day hunting expedition. If I didn't have enough bunnies by then, I should have enough bunnies by then. So, I hope this gives you some ideas, guys. Like I said, I'll leave a link at the back of it to where to get them. Dixie Gun Works is a good place. If you do a search for Civil War leather pistol pouch, you should find links and things like that. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.